CJ. Yeah, what we talking about? 94 feet, crossover bodies, dropping J's up. Players, this elite, your shots on body blocking halftime. Yeah. We break it down, we gon' call your bluff, it's past time. You recognize, boy, press. We got the heat down in Florida with the keys. Guess we the best. Magic, we flash with them fans, listen, won't see the best. Show rise from the airwaves like all stars in them stairways. Local rockin', we not stopping, got hot topics like every day. Them trades hit that deadline. My team chasing the big range, we ball, check that headline. Don't mess it up when you pick teams, the only station giving y'all that info with that real talk. Don't be trying to contest it, go toe to toe and get wheeled off. We shooting from deeper than that report from the bleachers. If you ain't on your game, then we got something to teach you. Tie your laces up, might get shook up out of them sneakers. That triple threat, bless your eardrum straight out of your speakers. Go from that black top to the hardwood, locker room to that press day. Got the scoop on them contracts, new prospects and best plays. NBA defined by the grind, in between the lines, full court pressing, finessing, read the signs. What we talking about? 94 feet, crossover bodies, dropping James up.
What's up, everybody? This is the russell-westbrook.com and the Russell Association podcast for April, was it today the 3rd, 2019. I'm your host, Dave Thompson, and this podcast is directly dedicated to my man, Russell Westbrook. It was a four game night in the NBA last night, and even though, the game late took big precedence of the Golden State Warriors defeating the Denver Nuggets last night, the San Antonio Spurs won last night as well too. Spurs played the Hawks last night, and in the fourth game, you had, the Houston Rockets taking care of the Sacramento Kings. Really the NBA last night was all about, the opening game, which was national television, which was all about Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, he put up a stat line that has not been seen but one time in the history of the NBA. And I'm gonna let you guys think about that for a second. As he's playing with a humongous heart, as we all know, one of hip hop's, in my opinion, one of more underrated rappers, and actually underrated musicians and rappers, and also one of the huge community leaders in Southern California, Nipsey-Hussle, was shot on Sunday night, and it hit the hip hop community and the community itself very hard, because he was more than just a musician. This is a man that gave back a lot to his own neighborhood in California, in Southern California, and he was always around. He, just reading the stories and listening to people speak of him, he was held in such high regard, and he's more than just a musician. And that sometimes it's, they know when people die or people pass on, it's a thought process of, what their music meant. No, this man was 10 times more than his music. Music got his words out, but his actions showed more than anything else. And so Russell Westbrook, who was a very, very good friend of Nipsey Hussle, last night played in his honor. And you can even listen to him in the post game last night, just talk about it very briefly. And Russell, is a guy that shows a lot of emotion on the floor, and you can just see the emotion come out of Russ. I mean, it wasn't, it was just Russell Westbrook showing emotion. And his play last night showed even more. In a game where the Thunder needed it more than anything else, and also in a heavy heart, Russell Westbrook put up the second 20-20-20 game in the history of the NBA. 20 points, 20 rebounds, 21 assists, in the Thunder's win last night over the Los Angeles Lakers. And you know what? People will sit here, and if you watch the final minute of the game, he got an offensive rebound. He was shrugging off Billy Donovan, who wanted to sub him out, and Russ was like, no, this is not happening. Steven Adams missed a free throw late, and then the team basically allowed Westbrook to hit that 20th rebound on a shot in the final minute of the game. And even if you want to call Russell Westbrook a stat patter, which in this case, I don't think he is one, but if you decide to do that, you know what? It is what it is. You can't deny the fact that the man had 20-20-20 game in the NBA last night, and it's only happened one other time, and that was Wilt Chamberlain. You can't deny that, and you're not going to, in my opinion, you can't take that away from him. And I'm not going to discredit that for anything, because anytime, like Jamal Crawford said on Twitter last night, Getting 20 in one category is one thing. Doing 20 in two categories is something completely different. And getting 20 in three categories in the same game is just flat out legendary. And people can mention Russell Westbrook all day long. You might not like Russell Westbrook, for whatever reason you do, but no one can doubt his love for the game, his love for his teammates, and his drive to win. And you could ask any teammate, you could ask any person that's played Russell Westbrook. And I will say this to this day. I've spoken to Russell on many of occasions in locker rooms. I've talked to all his teammates that's been with him past, present, and they've said the same thing. This guy has a drive to win that's completely different than most people. Yes, he's not won a championship, but you know what though? There's only one champion every year out of 30 teams. And he plays in the hardest conference in the NBA, which is the Western Conference. And no, this is not one of those things, trying to defend Russell Westbrook. It's just telling you what it is. It's telling complete facts. Russell is still one of the 5 to 7 best players in the NBA. He does things on the floor that nobody does. He plays with a motor that very few people do in this league. And he gives it on the floor every night. Does he take the best shots in the world? No, he doesn't. Is his shooting percentage where it should be as a point guard? No. But no point guard in the league rebounds like him. And last night, 21 assists last night proves again that he is more than just a guy that scores and rebounds. So you have to give Russell Westbrook a lot of credit last night. Like I said, playing with a heavy heart, playing, with all the things that he was dealing with, and to put up a stat line like that was just flat out incredible. And it is, like I said, the second time in the history of the NBA a 20-20-20 triple-double happened. And even though it happened against the Lakers, and then this, which is ironic because the Lakers, the Thunder haven't played LeBron James and the Lakers at all, which would be funny because it'd be almost 2 years since Russell Westbrook played LeBron James in a game that actually counted. But, for one night, once again, Russell Westbrook was putting up something that's never happened, and even when he got that final rebound, he showed that little bit, he showed a bit of emotion when he got the 20th rebound, and you can just tell how much it meant to him. And, the quote from Westbrook last night was, "I'm not going to try to put it into words, but like I said on the floor, that's who it's for." And I'm going to leave it at that. Like I said, Russell's a man that shows a lot of emotion with his face, his facial expressions and his play. But the words right there from Russell Westbrook, in my opinion, showed how much it meant to him. Not just the 20-20-20, but what it stood for, And like I said, it was a huge accomplishment. And also at the same time, this is what the 8th time where Westbrook in the game has had 15, 15, and 15, which ties him for Chamberlain's record for second all time. He is 6th behind Oscar Robertson for the most in the history of the NBA. Like I say, it's not really about the 119, 103 score last night. It is just all about Russell Westbrook last night. And, it was something, like I said, it's one of those moments when you see somebody lose somebody close to them. Like I said, some people just don't know the relationship of people and the loss of them. I mean, we go back to Brett Favre and his father, and he played for his dad that Monday night game in Oakland, and he just literally just lit the scoreboard up, and it was like he just threw every single pass out there. You can see the emotion where, it's just, it's pure. It's yours from the right place. Even going back to Michael Jordan when he hugged that championship, when he first got back, you could tell that was for his father, and well, I'm not going to say that, the relationship like that between a parent and a child is the same as a parent and a friend, but in some cases, we don't know that relationship. We don't know the depth of it, and just know that if a close friend die and you went out for that type of performance, you probably would mean that much to you as well too, especially if that person knew what you do for a living and how much passion and effort and time it took into it. So last night was more than just a 119-103 game, like I said before. It was more than the Thunder gaining a half game on the idle LA Clippers. It's more than them keeping pace with the San Antonio Spurs. It was about Russell Westbrook and what he did on the floor and what it meant to him as he's going through the grieving process. For one night, for 48 minutes, when he was in his zone, everything in the world was blocked out. And in that moment, Russell took the moment and ran with it. Like I said, Westbrook struggled. last night. I mean, you could tell the 12 of the first 14 shots he missed. And even though his shot wasn't going, he finished 8 of 23 for the game. The assists started piling up. He had 10 assists in the first quarter. And then at that point, it just started snowballing. It just started getting more and more and more. And Westbrook was just putting the pressure on the Lakers, who were shorthanded completely. I think they missed almost every player that you could possibly think of last night. I think all 5 starters were out last night for 5 regulars, with the exception. No, 4 regulars were out last night. With no Lonzo Ball, no Kyle Kuzma, no Brandon Ingram, no LeBron James. They were really playing a bunch of backups and Rondo McGee, Lance Stevenson, KCP, and a whole bunch of guys you probably never heard of. But the win for the Thunder, keep them pace in the Western Conference. Like I said, when you have a night where a guy's going 20-20-20 in the same game, it has to be talked about. And those guys, they scored for us. Those guys made sure that every shot that they threw up was going to go in. And it was, like I said, it was a very, very touching scene for NBA fans last night, Russell Westbrook. So, like I said, this podcast is quick, simple, and tonight, like I said, this morning, it's really all about Russell Westbrook. So, big shout outs to Russ. 20-20-20, first time it's happened, second time in the history of the NBA it's happened. And now the Thunder can go on to get ready for Detroit on Friday night as they're trying to continue to move up in the Western Conference standings. So I want to know your thoughts about Russell Westbrook in the 20-20-20 performance last night. And sound off below. Comment below. Follow me on Twitter at Danny, DANNY, 3, Thompson on Twitter. Follow RallyingAssociation.com. Also the Rallying Association Facebook page. And yes, I have not forgotten about the Final Four. Everything is going on that way. So we'll talk about the Final Four on Friday's podcast. I'll give you my Final Four predictions and also talk about who is going to win the Around the Association gift card for the Final Four and how they can win. There's not very many entries left, so we'll catch you guys tomorrow on the podcast. This is Dan Thompson for Rally Association. Peace.
Past time, you recognize, we got the heat down in Florida with the keys. Guess we the best. Magic, we flash with them fans. Listen, won't see the best. Show rise from the airwaves like all stars in them stairways. Local rockin', we not stopping. Got hot topics like every day. Them trades hit that deadline. My team chasing the big rings. We ball, check that headline. Don't mess it up when you pick teams. The only station giving y'all that info with that real talk. Don't be trying to contest it. Go toe to toe and get wheeled off. We shooting from deeper than that report from